$1 billion in your account, right now, with one condition. You have exactly 24 hours to spend every single dollar. If you don't, it disappears. Most people think this is easy. Most people are completely wrong, because spending $1 billion intelligently in 24 hours is one of the hardest problems a human being can face. The clock is already running. What do you do first? The first thing you notice before you even get out of bed is that spending $1 billion in 24 hours requires mathematics that your brain was not built for. $1 billion divided by 24 hours is $41 million per hour. Divided by 60 minutes, that is $694,000 per minute. You need to spend nearly $12,000 every single second to hit the deadline. That number, $12,000 per second, changes how you think about everything that follows. This is not shopping, this is logistics. This is a problem of scale and speed and decision-making under pressure that no amount of wanting to be rich actually prepares you for. The first call most people make is to someone they love, not to a financial advisor, to a person. Because the first instinct, even with $1 billion and a 24-hour clock, is human. You want to share it. You want someone to witness it. You want the thing to be real for someone other than just you. The first purchase most people make is something for their family. Not a car or a jet or an island, something that removes a burden, the parent's mortgage, a sibling's debt. The thing that has been weighing on someone you love, gone. Because even when you have $1 billion and a deadline, the first thing you reach for is the people. And then you look at the balance. And the family gifts and debt payoffs have barely moved it. You have spent $2 million on people you love, and you still have $998 million left. And the clock says, 22 hours remaining. The panic arrives. Real panic. Because it turns out that spending $1 billion is hard. The big purchases come next. The ones you have always imagined in the abstract. The private island found online in 20 minutes, purchased in 40. The Manhattan penthouse, 2 hours of paperwork for a building that will cost more to maintain than most people earn in a lifetime. The private jet signed for in an hour, though you cannot actually use it for weeks because of registration requirements you did not know existed. And here is the first surprise. The buying is not satisfying. Not in the way you imagined. Clicking purchase on a private island feels almost exactly the same as clicking purchase on anything else. The number changes on a screen. A confirmation email arrives. And you are still sitting in the same body, in the same chair, with a deadline and a balance and the strange flatness of having just bought something that should feel enormous and somehow does not feel like anything at all. The banking system becomes your enemy around hour 4. Wire transfer limits, anti-money laundering holds, verification requirements on transactions above certain thresholds. The financial system was not designed for someone trying to move hundreds of millions of dollars in a single day, and it fights back in 1,000 small bureaucratic ways. You need to route money through multiple accounts, multiple institutions, multiple payment types simultaneously just to keep pace with the clock. The charity portion changes everything. When you call the hospital and tell them you are donating $50 million for a new wing, and you hear the reaction on the other end of that call, something shifts. That is the first moment in the 24 hours that feels real. Not the island, not the jet. The voice of someone who just heard that something impossible was suddenly possible because you made a phone call. Midnight. 6 hours remaining. $150 million unspent. The math is now truly desperate. You have been going for 18 hours. You are exhausted. Your judgment is compromised. And you still need to spend nearly $25 million per hour to hit zero. This is when the decisions get bad. Buying things in bulk with no plan, prepaying for services a decade in advance, writing checks to charities you have never heard of because a list appeared and the clock was running. The quality of the spending collapses under the weight of the deadline. And that is the real lesson of the 24 hours. Not what you bought, but what the pressure revealed about how you make decisions when the stakes are highest and the time is shortest. The calm people, the ones who made a plan in hour 1 and stuck to it, ended the 24 hours with purchases they were proud of. The panicked ones, the ones who let the deadline drive every decision, ended it with warehouses full of things they did not want and accounts drained by transfers they barely remembered making. What did you buy first in your head just now while we were talking through this? If you thought of your family first, you are security-driven. The first instinct was to protect and provide. If you thought of a house or car or status symbol first, you are comfort-driven. The first instinct was to upgrade your own experience of the world. If you thought of investments first, you are legacy-driven. The first instinct was to make the billion into something permanent that outlasts the 24 hours. If you thought of charity first, you are impact-driven. The first instinct was to use the resource to change something beyond yourself. None of these is wrong. All of them are true. And the question of what you would do with $1 billion in 24 hours is actually the question of what you value most when all the usual constraints are removed. When you cannot use the excuse of not having enough. When the only limit is time and choice. The countdown hit 0. The billion was gone. Distributed across islands and hospitals and family homes and friends' debts and a sports team and a jet that still needed registration and 100 other things decided under pressure in 24 impossible hours. And sitting in the quiet afterward in the penthouse purchased at 11 a.m. on the most chaotic day of an imaginary life, the most surprising thing was this: the exhaustion. The genuine, deep, total exhaustion of having made that many decisions in that short a time, of having held that much responsibility and moved that much through the world and tried to make it matter in the hours available. The island is beautiful. The jet is useful. The hospital wing will save lives for 100 years. But the moment that mattered most, the moment that will stay, was the voice on the phone from the hospital at 4 in the afternoon, when the impossible became possible because of one decision made in one day. So, what did you buy first? Give us a like, it'll help us. Leave a comment, it'll help us improve. Subscribe so you don't miss new episodes. This was Dirty Rating. Thanks for watching. There's a gift at the end.